Okay, I'm going to shoot a little video here about some hardstone study pieces. Most of them are broken or got flaws or something, and they're sure not things you'll put out in the top of your cabinet, but then again, they're not without value. So we'll just start. I'm going to go through them real quick. I guess we've got 6 pestle-y things in the backyard there, a couple right there. And I'll just go through them real quick, and then I'll go the rest of these things. Well, there's a pestle too, so that's 6, 7, 9 pestles in here. Okay, and the rest are 10 pestles. So 10 pestles. So that's pretty much the pestles, and I would say everything else here becomes Mano-ish. So I'll just start. Okay. We got this one here in the back. Now it's from someplace, Illinois apparently, and it's basically, you know, big old handheld thing. Would have been like a cone if it was. These here are actually finger holds chopped up in the top of there. I'm not sure exactly how it held, but that's the way that number is. Then this thing here is an intact piece, but it's just ugly. You know, it's got various dingy frack things on it that are less than ideal. And then this one here is the end of a really nice pestle. Would have been a nice pestle. Unfortunately, that is a fairly modern break. Then over here, we've got the top end of another fairly decent pestle. It's actually got a little, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there is kind of a thing up there that is basically the top end of a what are called phallic pestles, phallus pestles. They've got another name for them too, that, you know, they stand independently, and they're typically a pestle that breaks, and then they go ahead and carve a big knob on the end of it there for whatever reasons. Now here is a pestle that is a double use. It's got a Mano edge on this side here, good pestle end on it, and then this top over here broke during the period of time that they were using it, but then they went ahead and ground it off enough so that you could hang on to it, and they continued using it. You know, that's work around there that put that. That's not erosion. And here's the top of a really awesome pestle. Got a really nice ring around the top up there. And then it likewise has been worked around the edges there to take any sharp roughness off there. So I guess they were going to start trying to use it like that. I don't know. Or maybe they were beginning to reshape it. I have several just about this size tops broken off pestles that they went ahead and made a little, just finished up a nice pestle end on it. So they're just nice short little pestles. Okay, now that's that row. Now here is just a Mano. It's kind of a big thick one, but it's got your classic Mano kind of soap, bar of soap looking edges on it, and it's a two-sider. They worked both sides of it, and they can just flip it over and use it again. This side over here has got see if I can get it in the. This side over here has got fairly clear pecking. And a lot of times they do that. They'll have like one side of a double cider will be pecked really rough. And then the other side, they'll keep a smooth polish on it for, I guess, you know, grinding up on different stages in the grinding. Now, here's a real cool Mano. It's got beautiful edging on it over here, and you can see the nice pecking in it there. Beautiful pecking. And that was submerged. Here you can see, I found this one sticking out of a bank. And you can see this is out of the desert. And you can see how the desert winds and stuff had beat up above that line that it was buried at. It just eroded it away, the elements. And here's a kind of a cool pestle. It's an unusual one. They've got, as you can see, it's kind of got a hump in the center, and they did that for handholds somehow. I don't know how they held it or what they did, but it's there's a certain style of Mano like this. Did I say pestle earlier? I meant Mano. That you know, it's got shaped ends. You know, almost beginnings of like little pestle ends, but it'll be, the downside will be a really nice smooth domed thing, and then batteries are going on me, and then they'll have a hump in the middle, and then two hollow spots on this side here, and then we got another, I missed this one, I think, another pestle in the back row. And it's the, what this is the end, broken off end of about a 2 foot long one. And I know because I've got several other pestles that you can lay these side by side, and if you just cover up from this inch down, from where my fingers are down, the broken spot down, they're just all identical on the very end. Totally identical. Now, this old piece here is cool. This is a giant pestle. This thing here would have been like one of those 3-footers, and it's just an edge broken off the side of the tip. It's got a little bit of the front on it, and then the side's broken off. It's a great study piece. Now, this Mano is a real trip. Look at how deep the pecking is on that thing. They were grinding something up that was, I don't know, maybe first stage of grinding corn or acorns down. It's got a little ugly on that side, but other than that, it's a great study piece for how severe pecking can get. Now here's just an all-around nice little Mano. I mean, nothing to jump up and scream about, but it's got all the right edges, and it's well shaped. You know, it's nice and oval, and it's likewise a two-sider, although this one has not been used as much as the downside. Okay, now here's kind of an unusual thing. I'm not sure what it is or what they had planned for it, but it's got a chipped band around it. They chipped the center out of it. I don't know if it was a big maul. They missed. No, it's there. It's got chipping there. Yeah. I don't know if it's like a maul or a war club they would tie in on the end of a. I don't know. I think it's for knocking something big in the head or crunching something. Okay. Now here's a pretty nice little Mano. It's got tar on it. I pulled it out of a tar seep, and it's got, and this over here is like freeze cracks. And now here's just like a little field pestle, like a small little portable pestle they'd carry with them. I mean, nothing fancy at all, but clearly a little pestle that they worked with. Here's another. It's got a little end that they basically pound stuff with, and you know, it's rounded edges and everything, and it's just a little clunker of a pestle. Now here's the end batter. You can tell they were banging hard on this thing, and it's the end of a great big old piece. And after it broke, they used this here as a Mano edge, and it's, you know, taken on some damage over the years from erosion, but they used it as a great big old heavy Mano. And this area over here has been smoothed off, so after it broke, they continued to use it, and it actually, you know, I think they probably used it more like a big nutcrackery thing. And then this here is an example of, you know, you heard the expression, poor folks have poor ways. Well, this here is just a semi-fortuitously shaped stone. You know, just a, you see that thing upside down, and boy, it's just a rock that everybody would walk by. And then you flip it over, and it's got very, very intensively pecked on this side over here. Now, the way pecking and grinding, the way things like this, why they peck them like that, is after they get smooth, they're not grabby enough to grind well. So they have to re-peck them to get it to grab onto pieces and hang on to it long enough to abrade against the stone underneath it, because otherwise it just slides around on top of them. Well, anyway, this is my basically the cheapest pile of stuff. I got a few nice ones thrown in there, and then everything else is just kind of a cool old clunky, you know, bits and pieces of study stuff. Okay, here's another view of that first batch. Okay, there's 17 pieces in all here. And I figure three of them have close to no value, so call them about 14 or 15.